Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Isabel, and I'm the Climate Change Youth Engagement Lead for the project. And I'm gonna be giving some updates on our project, and then we're gonna have our students presenting some of their projects. So our project is Children and Youth Power Community and Environmental Resilience. But first, I want to start saying that we are in unceded Mi'kmaq territory, and that the Mi'kmaq have been sharing this land with Canadians for a long time, but they have been here first, and they have been learning about this land way before everyone here. That's why we can learn a lot from them and all of their knowledge that they have on how to treat nature, how to relate with nature. Our table of content, I'm gonna be giving a brief of some of our achievements, then some key findings, and then some challenges. So I'm gonna start with our achievements so far. So first, this project started with an introduction of what the project was to the students. I went to every classroom and I started asking them questions on their knowledge of climate change. And I noticed that they didn't fully comprehend the concept, so we needed to take a step back and start describing climate change for them, because climate change can be quite a big concept for a student to grasp. So I created a safe space for them to share their ideas, their worries, and if they had any solutions or interest around climate change. I facilitated basic knowledge of climate change, but I also created a space for practicing empathy. This is one of the main goals of our program, was to increase empathy in the program. So what I did, I make them think about, we thought a lot about Fiona because it's very relatable for students here, for our children and youth in PI, because we all been hit by Fiona and storms in general. So we thought about how did animals fail during Fiona? How did older people fail during Fiona? How did disabled people fail during Fiona? How did indigenous people fail during Fiona? So it was about make them think about how other people, besides from them, failed during Fiona, how people that had to leave their houses fail, and generally how people fail during extreme weather events. So I gave them each a piece of paper for them to share their ideas, worries. And this was sometime in December last year. I brought some with me to share with you. I picked some randomly so that you guys could have a look at some of our students' minds. You can pass those around. So from there, I realized that a lot of the students care a lot about animals. So that's how we started taking action. So this is when we started taking action. They had the idea of planting trees, so we did so. And we started planting trees with Parks Canada and Macphail Woods. We went to Cavendish. We basically replaced some of the trees that were falling down after Fiona. And they learned about the importance of trees along the coast for erosion protection, for habitat. And we saw a lot of teamwork. We saw a lot of leadership. And we saw children enjoying a lot being outdoors. And then, go back, yeah, it's okay. So then we also went tree planting here in the school. We did some tree planting along the playground, and it was with Hunter Clyde Watershed Group, and we saw the same results. We saw a lot of teamwork. These are some of the pictures I took, and in all of the pictures I took like 30 pictures. You can all see teamwork. You can all see leadership. And they learned how to properly handle a shovel. We had 0 incidents with shovels. They learned how to properly plant a tree. Then we have the PI Invasive Species Council visit. They did a brief introduction on invasive species. I actually didn't know much about invasive species, and I learned a lot along with the children. And they did something very fun. They did a scavenger hunt here and at the school's trails, and they identified all of the invasive species in the school. And the children received stickers and cards for them to take home and bring to their parents. So there was some education from students to parents on invasive species and how to remove invasive species. And then we talked about a possible removal of all of the invasive species we identified sometime this year. Then we have two traditional sharing circles with Elder Matilda Knockwood. She came to the school and we had sharing circles. We had with 9th grade, 5th grade, and then we had one at the evening with parents and students. Elder Matilda Knockwood, she is a water keeper, so she works as a voice for our water, for our rivers and oceans. And she shared her knowledge, some of her knowledge. She shared some stories on how indigenous people relate to nature, how they take care of nature. And it also served as a way of connecting to different cultures, such as indigenous and Canadian culture. I saw that a lot of the students had many questions. They didn't fully comprehend indigenous culture, so it serves as a way of connecting these two cultures. Then we had the PI Wild Child Nature Immersion Program. So this Wild Child, it's a program where children are allowed to go outside and they are motivated to connect with nature. So it's child-led, it's play-based, and it's basically for younger kids. So it's kindergarten to 3rd grade. And they were motivated to connect with nature. They did activities like hugging trees, hoot and howl hide and seek, magnifying glasses to observe nature. They were observing insects with their magnifying glasses, mushrooms, and so on. And this is a picture of the slackline. They were motivated to take risk in nature in a safe environment. Then we had the watershed model with Hunter Clyde Watershed Group. Basically, the Hunter Clyde Watershed Group brought materials to recreate the watershed, and the children learned about the importance of a watershed, the importance of buffer zones, and the importance of trees around the buffer zone. And they also learned about the impacts of human activities on watersheds. So this is one we did recently. We are going to be building a rain garden in our school with Hunter Clyde Watershed Group. But first I wanted the kids to understand better how a rain garden works. So I worked on some models. The kids had 2 trays, one where there were rocks and plants, and ones without rocks and plants, which is supposed to be a place without a rain garden. And they could see how the place with the tray with plants and rocks could absorb all the water, so they understand how trees help nature absorbing water after a storm. And we're gonna be building an actual rain garden with the 1st grade sometime in June. And the students have learned about the importance of trees and plants for climate change and climate change causes and adaptation. So we started just today our environmental club. We have 15 students around 9 to 12 years old. And it's basically to keep promoting that safe space for them to share their ideas, give them funding, and give them the opportunity to lead projects. So for now, we had these activities plans for our future. We have a trip to Orwell Corner, and we have a trip to UPI Canadian Center for Climate Change. We're gonna be having Kay McQuarrie, the biologist, and she's gonna be doing a lot of outdoor learning with the students. That's gonna be happening sometime the end of May. And we're gonna be planting more trees as the kids really enjoy it with Hunter Clyde Watershed Group. And we are going to be adding lomis for all the classrooms. So this machine we have here is Composter. We have a group of students presenting on it, and we are planning on getting one for every classroom. So our key findings. So I've observed that outdoor activities are extremely beneficial for students. In one of our activities, we had one teacher saying that she had never seen an activity where she didn't have any issues, behavioral issues with students. And it's been amazing for me to see children happily enjoying and bonding with nature. So yeah, it's been very beneficial. Students are thrilled to participate in activities that are hands-on. Every time they see me coming in a classroom, I know that I'm a nice person, but they are thrilled because they are going to be doing something hands-on. So they are thrilled because they're going to be doing something. It's just not memorizing and learning and these things that it take a lot of energy for them. They're going to be having fun and they're going to be helping the environment. And I feel we as humans, we have the natural ability to feel we feel happy when we help someone, and they feel that. The moment they hear me saying, oh, you're gonna be helping this animal, and you're gonna be helping this other animal, or you're gonna be helping adapting to climate change, I see their faces illuminating, and I know they're thrilled about just helping. And I've seen that children and youth are perfectly capable of leading climate change projects. They just need the adequate funding and the motivation for doing so. Some of the challenges that I've encountered. So curriculums in school are quite rigid. Teachers are required to follow a curriculum, and from day one, they already have all the time booked until the end of the year, the things they have to follow and things they have to do. So this links to another challenges. There's lack of interest from some teachers. We have some grades that have not participated, unfortunately, because teachers have explicitly said, climate change is not part of my curriculum. And then there's lack of flexibility in school schedules. Again, schools have a very rigid schedule, and that is very difficult when planning with another community members, like when planning with watershed groups. They want to come here, but they have to adapt to school schedules or whenever the teacher has the probability of having them come. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you. Any questions?
Are you having fun?
I am, yes, very, a lot.
So how many hours is it, like a weekly that you're with the kids, or is, like, how many actual hours do they get?
So it's been quite irregular. It depends. 1 week has been like, we've been working 30 hours a week. I've been working 30 hours a week, but others have been 5 hours. But normally like 10 hours, yeah. And now I was done with university 2 weeks ago, so now I'm able to have more hours, so we've been working more time now. Yes.
How did the first meeting of the environmental club go?
It was very nice. I was actually surprised we have 15 kids, so it's quite a lot, I thought so. And the kids were quite involved in the activity that they had, so it was very nice.
Are they setting goals, setting things they want to do?
Yes, from the first day I already told them we are here to take action. We are not here to waste any time. So they already, like the first activity was for them to present a project. I had them role playing. One student was supposed to be the leader of the project and the other was supposed to be the principal of the school. So they had to switch roles. They had to present to the principal and then they had to switch. So I already have a list of all of their projects and we're gonna start taking action soon.
Fantastic. Could you give us a couple of examples?
Yes, so we're gonna be working on bat boxes. We had a lot of the kids saying that. So I think it was because a lot of the kids that are in the environmental club, we had the Hunter Clyde watershed group visiting them last week, like 2 weeks ago, and they talked a lot about bat boxes and the importance of it. And I think that really stuck in their minds. So we had a lot of the kids saying, I want to build bat boxes. So I'm definitely already working on that. I already talked with the watershed and told them like, hey, we have a lot of interest in bat boxes. Yes.
Great.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
The kids in the environmental club, what's the range of their ages?
So right now it's supposed to be anyone that wants to join from grade 4th to 9th. But right now we have ages 9 to 12. So I would say 4th to 6th, yeah.
That's a really good turnout, 15.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Good job to you.
Thank you.
Sparking their interest.
Thank you. Yeah. No more questions? Okay, so now we can have our first student who's presenting. Here we have Akira. I think you can clip it and put it in your shirt.
Hi. Wait, does that work?
Yes, it's just
Hi.
recorded.
Oh, okay. So, hi, like Isabel said, I'm Akira. I'm in grade 7, and we were doing art sustainability. Yeah. So this project was made to help, like, for kids to learn about the environment and different things. So, like, we learned a lot about fast fashion and how to, like, stop getting rid of clothing. So we were doing stuff about the Confederation Center. So we went for a field trip there to learn about the Hurricane Fiona and what people made art out of the Hurricane Fiona, which I thought was really interesting because there were like, art pieces that they were doing pottery in the dark, or they were using stuff that they found. And I thought that that was really interesting because it's showing how they found Fiona. So we were making collages at the Confederation Center, and we were making these beautiful pieces of art that we just found interesting for ourselves. So we would make, like, we would take newspapers and cut out pieces of the newspaper, put it on the board. We could make two or one. We could choose how big we wanted it to be. So we got to choose what we wanted to do. So the solstice, this is our solstice lantern that we made, and different people made it differently. Like, some people would paint these, others would paint it differently. So we use dogwood to make them. So, like, the frame is made out of dogwood, and we learned how to bend them, which I thought was cool, and we learned how to not get wood glue on the table because that was a big problem. We learned how to bend dogwood and how much pressure was needed. So here, this is the inside of the skeleton of it, which is kind of cool. There's a little jar in here with candle, so you can light the candle, and then you just like walk with it like this at the solstice. And the solstice was, if you don't already know what the solstice is, it's like the winter solstice is the longest day of the year, I believe, and then the summer solstice is the shortest day of the year. Okay, yeah, so winter is the shortest day of the year then, and summer is the longest day.
We do that too, by the way.
Yeah. So this is Charlotte's lantern, I believe. Yes, it is. And so she made this lantern. Mine is at home, or I don't know, it got misplaced. I was gonna use it next year, but somehow it got misplaced and I couldn't find it in time. But this is Charlotte's lantern that we are conveniently using.
And what's the material, like the shade actual part, what's that?
This is made, like, this part is old bed sheets, I believe. So we had to cut them up and would glue them on.
So recycling materials.
Yep.
Very cool.
So our next was sustainability in clothing. So we dyed, this is a pillow, like pillow cover. It used to be white or cream colored, and now it is dyed purple with blueberries. So this is the one dyed with blueberries. This one's also dyed with blueberries, and then the last one over here is dyed with turmeric. Yeah. So we learned how to sew, what fast fashion was. We learned how to read labels on clothing and how sustainability can help people around the world. So recycling the clothing was a lot better for the environment. Learning how to sew can help you stop throwing out your favorite piece of clothing that has a hole in it. So, yeah, like my pants. Or, yeah, so this one I had to sew back together or embroider because, well, we were gonna do art at the end of the day, and I had brought in a pair of pants that had a hole in the knee, and I'm like, this was like last minute, so I'm like searching through my drawers trying to find something that has a hole in it, and when I was running out to the school bus, I sort of slipped on ice and I ripped a hole. I ripped a hole in my sweater. So I'm like, oh, this works a lot better. So now I have this. Yeah, there's more, I think. Or there isn't. I don't think so. Okay, so that's the end of my slideshow. Questions? Yeah. There you go.
Oh, how cool is that? A rainbow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's great, Akira.
Thank you.
So what can you tell me now, when you started this project, what did you know about fast fashion? Now what do you know?
Well, I learned where fast fashion was. So, like, say you go into Ardene's or Urban Planet, that's fast fashion. So it's like these pieces of clothing that are made with not the best materials. So they are used or like, here you go, are like, get trashed easier.
Yeah.
So like they get ruined quicker and all of that.
So they end up in landfills?
Yes. And so then you go out to buy another piece and another because you just,
Go through it and put things.
yeah, mostly. And if you would like to pass this around, there you go.
Give me some good ideas. You'll all have to take lessons on how to do that. Not slipping on the ice.
Yeah, that would not be very good.
You can come in my house. I got
Okay.
Now you know what to do.
On the note of, not interrupted by Anne, on the note of fast fashion, Wohelo, which is a support group for the NICU unit, and now is partnering with the QEH Foundation, has their annual used clothing sale, May 24th and 25th on Dorchester Street, in the old antique barn. So, one way to recycle some of the goods, right?
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, microphone. Oops. Here. Where do I put the microphone? Okay, here you go. Yeah.
Is there a little snap?
Oh, I put it on back.
It's okay. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Emma Arnold, and I'm in grade 6, and I'm going to be presenting about net zero communities. Grades 5 and 6 in our school are working on making net zero communities. Net zero is whenever you do something good for the planet after doing something bad. For an example, like driving a gas-powered vehicle and then planting some trees to make up for it. But what we as a community need to work on is making negative emissions, so maybe using like carpooling or biking and still plant trees. We're redesigning communities, so we have this piece of wood and we're building communities, what they should look like in the future, like what transportation we should use, energy sources, what food and water, where we're going to put our green spaces and infrastructure. And we have 5 groups, and each group made a model. We learned about reducing emissions by like different ways you can plant trees or have a bubble fence which collects all the garbage from the ocean, or even using less gas-powered vehicles. And also we learned about what a community needs to make it nice to live in and visit. So cleaner air, because nobody wants to live with dirty air with a whole bunch of cars everywhere. And also having something for everyone, because a lot of people can't afford cars. So maybe having a train or just renting a bike. Also, our group learned a lot about making decisions, like safety versus aesthetics, because it might look really nice, but it might not be as safe. Also, cost versus impact. Making net zero communities is also helping the environment by slowing down global warming. We can share resources and also lower emissions. It also respects the earth by using bubble fence, like I said earlier, in the ocean. There are these bubbles that collect all of the garbage. Also using compost as fuel. Also it increases biodiversity by planting different tree species instead of just the same one each time. Also rain gardens to prevent soil erosion and runoff. And that's just the rest of the template, but yeah. Any questions?
So where are your, how big is the wood? Like, is it like plywood?
Yeah, it's like 2 by 3 or 4 feet. It's pretty big. Yeah.
And you're building models for those things to show?
Yeah, we have like recycled things like cans or juice boxes, but we also have some pieces of wood in the shop.
Okay, you're doing the shop.
Yeah. Anything else?
Are you part of the environmental club by any chance?
No. I don't think.
The reason I'm asking is that a couple of years ago, there was an active transportation loop linked to try to get to the school so that kids could get to school. And like by bikes and walking, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
would reduce obviously some of the carbon emissions. And I was wondering if you wanted to follow up on that with the town of North Rustico to see where they are.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool, but not that I know of. I don't think I'm a part of that yet. Yet.
You can do it now. Thank you. If you could do that for us, that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that seems to be stalled. I know that we saw Madame Lavoie last year go and give a presentation to the town, and because she had gotten funding for it, and I'm just wondering where that is. So,
Yeah.
just a little tidbit for you to go advocate on behalf of the rest of the students. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And then how long until have you finished your models yet, Emma, or you're still
No,
working on it?
we only had like 2 or 3 days. I think we're just going in there. We drew it on this piece of chart paper, and like some people started to paint the roads and everything, but we only just started it.
Okay, so you'll
Yeah.
make sure to take pictures and such when you're.
Yeah, I didn't get to take any. They were supposed to be. I don't know if. Yeah, it's a take, but none of them were really finished yet.
Okay.
But yeah.
So make sure to take pictures before.
Yeah.
I've never heard of bubble fences before. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, we just learned about it on this video. It's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how much they cost?
No, it's probably pretty expensive though.
That'd be great if we could get one here.
Yeah.
You want to look into that too, Em?
Do your homework first. Well, Ring Ed must be over by now.
No, there's spring ring.
Oh, spring Ring.
Yeah.
I think, is anyone else?
So you just press that button like that. There. You got it? I think. You want it on the outside, yeah. Super. Oh, shucks.
We're standing side by side.
Okay, my bad. Sorry. Okay.
Community garden.
A project by Great Center Exploratory Group at Gulf Shore Consolidated.
This project was made possible by the financial support of the government of PEI's Climate Challenge Fund. Oh, I'm Dora,
And I'm Samara. Community Footprints.
a grade 7 exploratory group.
What is an exploratory course?
Provincially developed exploratory modules are units of exploration in various areas that focus on experiential learning and engaging in relevant curriculum. There are a number of different modules that have been developed, such as financial literacy, Genius Hour, and community service. Our main focus is on community service. Community service learning.
Through observation and investigation, students will connect topics of their learning and interest to community challenges and problems. Students will make real-world connections with these learning opportunities from the Intermediate Program of Studies. Gulf Shore Community Footprints.
We are excited to leave our mark in a positive way, which is why we call our group Community Footprints. We have done other projects to help in the school and community, such as organizing various spaces in the school and building birdhouses to help a local watershed group. Our biggest and most exciting project yet is the community garden that we're planning on building here at Gulf Shore Consolidated.
Giving back.
In our school, our community, and to the environment.
With a focus on community service, we knew we wanted to do something that had a positive impact on the communities we are part of. We are part of the Gulf Shore community and the North Rustico community. We also wanted to choose a project that had a positive influence on the environment.
In our school,
Completed, inventory, and organized the home ec lab,
cleaned and organized the makerspace,
and we'll be creating activities for younger students.
and we are doing our best to be positive role models.
In the community,
We've worked with local watershed groups to build nesting boxes, and we are creating a community garden for North Rustico. This is us building our birdhouses.
for the environment,
We are learning about climate change so we can help educate others,
providing local space where residents can grow their food in a sustainable and economical way,
and we are creating awareness about environmental issues,
collecting food waste from classrooms to compost and use in our garden plots.
This is us collecting, emptying, and cleaning up the compost bins, and us watching the loamy turn food into soil. If you don't already know what a loamy is, we have it right here. If you don't already know what a loamy is a machine that helps turn your compost, food waste, into good soil for gardening.
Our community garden. You don't have to be good at gardening for gardening to be good for you.
What is a community garden?
A community garden provides a good space for residents to grow a different variety of plants such as vegetables and flowers.
There are several different ways community gardens can work. Sometimes people work together to maintain the gardens. In our garden, residents can rent a plot that they'll be responsible to maintain, harvest, and care for.
We are building 10 garden plots, 4 by 16 feet. Our class are going to maintain 2 and put 8 up for rent.
The cost of renting a garden plot will be $45 for each year. The fees will go back into maintenance and repairs for the community garden.
Garden plots will be filled and ready this year. In the upcoming years, residents may need to make their own compost or fertilizer for their plots.
the Burley Farmer. We are fortunate to have Tom Lund of the Burley Farmer guiding us on this project. The Burley Farmer focuses on farming using the smallest carbon footprint possible, and they use organic and sustainable practices including spray-free and low-till farming. Tom has experience developing community gardens and, of course, lots of knowledge about gardening. He's helped us by
Teaching us about germination, crop selection, and square foot gardening.
introducing us to no-till gardening,
Guiding us on the material list for our garden.
and planting seeds with us for our garden. This is us planting our seeds. It's okay. Many thanks to
Financial support from the government of PEI's Climate Challenge Fund.
Isabel Correa, the Climate Change Youth Engagement Coordinator, for all of her input and guidance about environmental issues and how we can make a difference.
And Tom Lund for his guidance and support. Any questions or comments?
So the two plots, the gardens that the students are looking after, like these have a schedule that for the whole summer, who's gonna cover
Well,
those?
like, people can come and volunteer, but I guess, like, I don't know, Miss Lozon might come, like, every 2 weeks or so.
We are going to make a schedule for the summer.
Oh. I didn't know that. You should have told me.
But as of now, with our sprouts, we're already growing with our seeds to like start off our plants. We already have a schedule. So as an example, it's like Fridays, it's me and her. Saturdays, not Saturdays, the week.
And you have access for watering where all these gardens are gonna be? Are they using rainwater? Like how?
I'm pretty sure we found, like, a garden, like a hose hookup that we can use, and, like, rainwater is probably good, too. Put a little barrel and get the water.
And how long does, what did you call that, a loamy?
A loamy.
How long does it take your food to turn into soil?
I think its cycles are 17
Hours?
17 hours for like a cycle.
We
Yeah.
have a loamy. We've been using it for 2 years now. We love it.
Yeah, we have a, it's the one in town, cycler, so we use it 3 times a week from.
It takes about 4 to 6 hours, depending on what level you use to turn it into.
So we're, the students have been collecting the raw food waste from the classroom. So
Oh, no, not
the
yet.
school already collects compost, but we specifically wanted the raw food waste so that we can get the most nutrients out of our soil. So we're running them on the most like nutrient-rich cycle, so it does take a bit longer.
And then we collect it.
This is our little compost bin. It's getting kind of heavy, but
It's kind of stinky.
it's a little stinky. But it's all of our it's all of the soil that it's all of the dirt that we got from the loamy, and we just collect it in here.
You should advertise your plots with the town on their get them to put an ad on the Facebook page or on
In
their,
the newsletter?
yeah, the newsletters for June now.
You guys want to talk about advertising?
Oh, well, we just actually had a competition of, like, little posters that we made to advertise it, and, like, yeah.
And
And it had to, like, include, like, the garden plots and everything and how much they would cost and what you can do and stuff and where it's going to be. So we kind of already figured that out.
yeah, and we've already discussed different ways to advertise it. Any other questions?
So all of the posters that have all of the information included, we'll be posting them on our Facebook page and sharing them.
Even like the bulletin boards in the post office, and it's called the
By the bay, Palm Harbor.
all those places, that's wonderful. Are you enjoying yourselves?
Yeah.
A lot.
Which says a lot, considering at least once a week they are dealing with some pretty gross, gross food and washing the bins and never a complaint.
Good for you, Joe.
Oh, why did I call fast?
say a whole lot, I guess. So for those who don't know who I am, I run an organization called the Burley Farmer in town. We were those crazy people farming backyards for the last 6 years. We got ourselves up to a quarter an acre. We grew about 10,000 pounds of food out of backyards last year. We ran 40-person CSA. And I was lucky enough to get asked to be part of this project. So I'm gonna help them learn. Not enough bass in there for you, or? No, okay. I was fortunate enough to be chosen to help them learn a little bit how to farm sustainably and maybe farm a little bit better at the same time too. We all know gardening can be a little bit of an uphill battle if you've never done it before, and it can get really disappointing very quickly. So I would like to really make sure that these kids leave this program with at least the start of a green thumb, maybe not completely soaked in dirt yet, but you know, a little bit of an interest, and yeah, I'm just happy to be here, so.
In Glasgow right now, we live in Glasgow, so Tom, are you available for people that are going to come down to use some of these guidance boxes? Or
I don't know what sorry, I shouldn't have handed it back to you. I don't know what my involvement is going to be come the end of the school year, I guess we'll say, because as I said, I do have my own farm to run. I work a full-time job on top of that. So I would like to continue to be a part of this in some regard, but I won't be able to be here on a very consistent basis at the very least. So if Julie needs a hand with organization and stuff, I'm sure she can reach out to me or whatever, and I can pop down to interview the newest garden renter, I guess we'll say. But you know, like I don't know what that looks like yet, so.
No, the kids are directing it.
Yeah.
So this is student-led, so they'll decide how it rolls, so.
We're definitely kind of still figuring things out as we go, so it's, yeah, but we're ready to build, so.
Yeah, like there'll be boxes built this week. We'll start filling them. There's a few odds and sods left to pick up as far as setting the garden up itself, but the manure and everything is out front, so we're gonna set the beds up in a no-till fashion. We're not gonna till any of the soil. We're gonna protect our soil health as best we can, and hopefully set this up with a good head start for the people who are gonna come and use the plot, so.
That was an absolutely beautiful presentation.
Thank you. The students part of the project,
I'm afraid we're missing all the questions and the other stuff.
so one of the projects that the students did was they each created slideshows or in small groups, and we presented them to Anita to kind of get permission to move forward with their ideas. So I took the information from their slideshow and compiled it into one, and then as we've been going, I've been just kind of updating and adding a little bit more. So yeah, most of it was certainly student work. But, yeah. Any other questions?
I just wanted to, since I'm kind of representing the province here today, I just wanted to say we talk about this an awful lot in the Legislative Assembly, the Climate Challenge Fund and the funding toward it, but it's really great to see it in action and what you guys are doing on the ground. Like it's tremendous, so thank you for that. And I think, in fact, the education piece is so important. I was talking to the Minister of Environment, Energy and Climate Change, and I think there may even be a whole dedicated education component of the Climate Challenge Fund. I don't want to steal his thunder, but I think that may be in the works. He kind of sold me on it. So, and it's because of the work that you guys are doing to make this happen. So, congratulations to you.